We believe that she's a husky Malamute mix. Initially we thought husky, but she's a little longer haired. So we believe she's about 10 years old. Our humane officer got a call on Saturday from a Good Samaritan, a neighbor, saying that there was a dog in distress, and that's what he went out to find, which was a dog laying probably for days. One of the worst cases of neglect that he had ever seen. He wasn't sure how long the dog had been laying there, if it could stand up on its own. She was gasping for air. And to be quite honest, he said he was going to rush her to the vet, but he didn't know if she'd make it. He thought she would die before he reached the veterinary office. So he got out to Hiram, which is where the call came from, within about 30 minutes, and immediately transported her here to Stoke Animal Hospital, who works with the APL on a regular basis, and advised them that he was coming and wasn't sure if the dog would make it, like I said. Once she arrived here, I assume they began to assess the situation, look at her body, see if they could save her, given that she wasn't really breathing. She couldn't stand on her own. I don't know if she was even really conscious, to be honest. They began to look at her sores and her wounds and saw that she had lots of sores, mats, maggots, all kinds of things that had obviously been there for some time. I don't think this is something that happened overnight. She's obviously been neglected for a long time. So some of the photos that we have are probably 3 or 4 or 5 of the team from the vet office here, working on her as fast as they can, trying to give her fluids, antibiotics, anything to help save her life. And probably up until Tuesday morning, we really believed she probably wouldn't make it. We talked about euthanizing her to end her suffering, and luckily Dr. Marietti gave her another chance to stand up and walk and see if she made some improvement, and she did. She walked. She wanted to eat. She wanted to drink. She gave us all the signs that she really wanted to make it. So we're fighting for her, and they're doing all the work they can to keep her alive. And we hope she can recover fully and have a nice life for as long as that is. I mean, it's a matter of finding out all the facts, making sure we know exactly what happened, to try to understand how an animal could get neglected in this way. Who was responsible for it, who neglected the dog. Once he gets all those facts straight, then we can really make a conclusion and decide where to go from there. So these cases are usually pretty tough. They're not usually cut and dry. There's always some story, someone did this, someone didn't do this, and we kind of have to filter through all of the nonsense and really figure out why this happened and who did this to the dog. She's a pretty severe case of neglect. We don't see that severe case that often, but we get calls all the time about animals being neglected. I mean, we're responding at probably 100 a month. People calling in to report their neighbor or something they've seen that they think is inappropriate animal care. And the law requires some really basic things, but on a regular basis, we're seeing that people can't provide basic needs to their animals. So beyond, prosecuting them for cruelty and things, we really are trying to educate people, trying to help them when they can. Don't let your animal get to that place. Call us first for help. Call us and ask. Say, I can't take care of my animal anymore. I don't have food to feed it. We will give you food for your animal. We'd rather them stay in your home and get care than neglect them. There are lots of options for people, and we try to do whatever we can to educate them. And then if we have to remove animals, we do, and then we rehome them for someone who can treat them properly, we hope.